CSS Introduction. CSS means cascading style sheets. It's a language for styling the web. CSS is the reason why some HTML elements appear the way they are. CSS is the reason why the H2 is smaller than the H1 element. The H3 is smaller than the H2 element. The P is smaller than the H3 element. The element bad a blue color with an underline. CSS can change your element's color. It can center your text. It can give your element a padding. It can give your element a different font family. CSS can animate your element. It can style your form inputs. It can make your form input have a longer width. CSS can give your table borders. CSS can give your table a longer width. It can make your border collapse. It can change your font weight. It can change your element's color. It can change your element's font family. Applying CSS to HTML. CSS can be added to HTML in 3 ways. 1. Inline CSS. In inline CSS, the CSS is stored within the style attribute. But this way isn't advisable because it can only be applied to an element one at a time. Inline CSS also makes your HTML unreadable. Let's complete the styling. See the result. 2. Internal CSS. For internal CSS, the styling is stored within the style element. Internal CSS makes your code more cleaner and readable when compared to inline. Watch how our HTML looks better when we transform the inline CSS to internal CSS. The result remains the same. 3. External CSS. External CSS stores the CSS in a separate file. Store the file with a .css extension. Save and open the CSS file. Copy the CSS and paste it to the styling.css file. Next, link the external CSS to your HTML with the link element. Rel attributes value of stylesheet tells the web browser that a CSS stylesheet is being linked to the HTML. The href stores the address of the CSS file. See the result. CSS anatomy. CSS stylesheet is made up of rules. Every CSS rule starts with a selector, which describes the elements that styling will be applied to, followed by a declaration which is contained within curly braces. Within the curly braces are the properties, which dictates the styling to be applied. The property are in name value pairs with the format, name, value. In our example, the property name is color, and the value is red. Open the file in the browser to see the result. Challenges.